What's going on, YouTubers? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Born Thriller. Where it pertains to these past reviews, where it pertains to me doing New Japan reviews. This will be the New Beginning USA results that took place back in 2019. The dates follow were January 30th, February 2nd, and February 3rd. Basically, where it changes January 30th was night 1, February 2nd was night 2, and February 3rd was night 3. And we're going to go through all this where it changes to the promotion of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And we're talking about the location that we're at too, where it changes to these different nights that we're at. And the venues as well. For example, or it pertains to night 1. We'll start with this first, obviously, night one. Night 1, with the attendance of 531 fans in attendance, for instance, being New Japan Pro Wrestling fans at the Global Theater, again back in January 30th of 2019, and that was located in Los Angeles, California, USA. And we're gonna jump right into it, folks. We're into these matches. They were from decent, good, and best. And without further ado, let's get right into it. The opening match was Alice Coughlin and Clark Connors. Had a match that lasted 10 minutes. That was on the time limit. And unfortunately, pertains to reaching 10 minutes. This match ended in a time limit draw. And this match was, this opener was a very good match. Very good match. Pertains to these two young lions from the LA dojo, and did a splendid job. So, great opener. But unfortunately, no one won the match. But either way, they got respect of the wrestling fans in attendance. Next match was John Gresham defeating Tyler Bateman in 11 minutes and 36 seconds. And the match, I thought, was pretty good. Especially with pertains to the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham, in Ring of Honor. One of the best wrestlers in the world out there. He reminds me of Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, which in a way. And he did a good job here, and he won, like I mentioned already. Very, very good match. Kokobana defeated Shane Taylor in 10 minutes and 22 seconds. The match, I thought, was decent and entertaining in a way because of Kokobana. And not much to say about that. We get to the Killer Elite Squad. Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer representing Suzuki-gun as they defeated Villain Enterprise of the Villain Marty Scurll and Brody King, two guys from Ring of Honor. And this was a tag match less than 13 minutes and 9 seconds. And the match was always decent. It was decent. And by God, I missed the Killer Elite Squad tag team, by the way. Those guys, they just gel so well together. Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. They just got that killer instinct, which is why they call the Killer Elite Squad. And I missed that tag team. So, but yeah, it was a decent match though. Jeff Cobb defeated Carl Fredericks in the match that lasted 6 minutes and 57 seconds. 6 minutes and 57 seconds. Excuse me. And the match I thought was decent. Not much to say about the match. But Jeff Cobb won, so there you go. David Finlay Jr. defeated Chucky T in 15 minutes and 31 seconds, and the match I thought was pretty good, And finally, the tag team match main event, 32 minutes and 20 seconds it lasted, with Lifeblood, Juice Robinson, and Tracy Williams defeating Roppongi Vice, which it was Barella. That was at the time he was called Barella, but we all know him as Trent. And Rocky Romero. In the match, I thought also a pretty good tag team match, a good main event tag team match, and not much to say about that. So, but like I said, Lifeblood won the match, so there you go. So yeah, not bad for a night 1 where it tends to the show. So my overall score for the show, I'm gonna go with a 7.5 out of 10. So, good show. Didn't knock my socks off in a way, but still enjoyed it for what it was. And now let's move on to night 2, which is to the New Beginning USA from 2019 that took place on February 2nd at the Grady Cole Center that was located in Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. And we're changed to Japan Pro Wrestling matches, obviously, again, from decent, good, and to best. And again, which is me saying best, it does depend if I think it was the best and all that. So, but I guess in the way we're chasing Jonathan Gresham, when he had his match against I already forgot who that was. Let me double check. Just remind myself. Oh yeah, Shane Taylor. I'm sorry, not Shane Taylor. Tyler Bateman, meant to say. But yeah, that was one of the best matches so far because of how the wrestling was, especially because of Jonathan Gresham's wrestling. Then we get to the opening here of night 2. By the way, speaking of night 2, the attendance for night 2, when they were in Charlotte, North Carolina, the attendance were 969 in attendance, and that was a big number. From that one. Night 3 couldn't even measure up on that one, but we'll get to night 3 later on. But night 2 had the bigger crowds, because they were in the bigger venue. So, but I digress. But night 2 will feature Carl Fredericks versus Clark Connors in the match that lasted 10 minutes. Now we're changing to the opening match. It's going to be a 10-minute match, only a 10-minute match. We're changing to the time limit. So unfortunately, another match that ended in a time limit draw from night 1, and now we get the same result for night 2 here. So obviously from different young lions here, and yeah, like before, mutual respect for one another and from the wrestling fans. We get to Kokobana and John Skyler defeating Lance Archer and Shane Taylor. And that tag team match lasted 10 minutes and 13 seconds. And yes, Lance Archer was in the losing end of that match. He didn't lose though. Shane Taylor did. But after the match though, they did attack Kokobana and John Skyler, and that was basically it for that. Match itself I thought was decent. So the Great Khan, yes, the same Great Khan from New Japan Pro Wrestling, of being the part of the United Empire. That's him. Before he had the corkscrew ponytail. So, but yeah, but it was the Great Khan going up against Tracer X in 8 minutes and 57 seconds. And the match I thought it was pretty decent. With the Great Khan going over. Villain Enterprise, Marty Skrull and Brody King defeated Jeff Cobb and Jonathan Gresham in a tag team match lasted 13 minutes and 46 seconds. The match I thought was pretty good, and not much to say about it. So, Davey Boy Smith Jr. defeated Alex Coughlin lasted 10 minutes and 8 seconds. And after the match, Davey Boy Smith Jr., who's a heel, showed respect to the young lion in Alex Coughlin, and basically Mercedes holding too as well. They had tensions and eye contact in a way back in night 1, which is why it led to this match here. And it was intense in a way, and the match was intense, and it was a damn good match, a damn hard hitting, strong style good match. So then we get to a tag team match that lasted 17 minutes and 8 seconds with Lifeblood, David Finlay Jr. and Tracy Williams defeating Chaos's Chucky T and Rocky Romero. The match I thought it was decent, and not much to say about that. So pretty decent tag team match. And finally, the main event for the Iwgp United States Heavyweight Championship that lasted 27 minutes and 29 seconds. The challenger was Barella, going up against the flamboyant, the United States champion at the time, Juice Robinson. And the match I thought was pretty damn good. And ended up being from a good match to one of the best match main event that they could showcase. And in the end, obviously, Juice Robinson wins the match to retain the Iwgp United States Heavyweight Championship title. And yeah, there you go. Not what to say. And that was night 2. Now, as far as night 2 goes, retains to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. Very good show, and I love night 2 more than I did night 1. So I'm gonna go with a 8.5 out of 10 for this show. And now let's get to night 3, which is the attendance for night 3. For the New Beginnings USA, was 618 fans in attendance. So retains to the who had the better number of the attendance was night 2, and the lowest one was night 1. However, retains for night 3, in the War Memorial Auditorium, that was located in Nashville, Tennessee, USA, from February 3rd, 2019. Let's get to the card here, and the results too as well. But as retains this, as always, decent to good, and in front of what was the best match here, if there was a best match. But let's go to it right now. So, yeah, Carl Fredericks defeating Alex Coughlin in the match lasted 9 minutes and 48 seconds. So basically, they had like about 12 seconds to spare, where it tends to reaching another draw. So luckily, night 3 didn't have no draw this time. This time we had the type of winner for the opening match here. And the match was good. It was a very good match here between these two guys. Then we get to Lance Archer and Shane Taylor defeating Kokobana and Jonathan Gresham in a tag team match lasted 11 minutes and 12 seconds. In the match, I thought it was decent, and not much to say about that. But hey, Lance Archer and Shane Taylor, at least they won. So, the Great Old Khan defeated Harlem Bravido, I think that's how you say his last name, in 10 minutes and 34 seconds. In the match, I thought it was decent, and not much to say about it. So, the villain Maurice Girl defeated Clark Connors. I said Carl. I'll think about the other young lion from the LA dojo. But Clark Connors, I meant to say, lost to the villain Maurice Girl in a match that lasted 13 minutes and 51 seconds. Obviously, women's this match, but young lions never win their matches anyways. So unless it's against each other. So, but Maurice Girl won. So, but it was a decent match though. Jeff Cobb defeated Brody King in the match that lasted 22 minutes and 27 seconds, and the match I thought was pretty good. Two big guys going at each other, and I thought it was good. Very good match. And finally, a 6-man elimination tag team match. Traditionally, that's been made back in New Japan, and obviously back in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That match lasted 31 minutes and 26 seconds. It will feature Lifeblood, Juice Robinson, David Finlay Jr., and Tracy Williams defeating Chaos of Beretta, Chucky T, which together they are best friends, and Rocky Romero, and together they are Chaos. And the order of elimination was Chucky T, I should say, but whichever one to say, was eliminated by David Finlay by being thrown over the top rope, and that elimination lasted 15. The first elimination didn't happen until 15 minutes and 57 seconds passed, and then Tracy Williams from Lifeblood gets eliminated by Rocky Romero, who also gets thrown over the top rope, and 21 minutes and 17 seconds. Beretta gets eliminated from Chaos by David Finlay by a Crash Panda, which is his finishing move, in 27 minutes and 39 seconds. David Finlay gets eliminated by Rocky Romero by getting tossed over the top rope in 27 minutes and 48 seconds. And finally, between Juice Robinson and Rocky Romero, it was now or never to find out who's gonna be winning for their teams. Was going to be Chaos for Rocky Romero, or was going to be Juice Robinson for Lifeblood. So Rocky Romero gets hit with the finishing move of Juice Robinson, the Pulp Friction, which causes the match ending in 31 minutes and 26 seconds. So Rocky Romero did lose for the team, unfortunately, but either way, this was a very good match, and yeah, Lifeblood wins the match. And yeah, this match, I always love this type of match, by the way, especially when it's New Japan Pro Wrestling, the way they do it. So yeah, the elimination I should mention this too, by the way. The elimination is caused by either by submission, pinfall, or be thrown over the top rope with both feet touching the floor. So, and yeah, there you go, folks. And that was night 3. Night 3, I'm gonna give this night 3 which is my overall rating for the show, 7.5 out of 10. It was basically the same, similar I feel about night 1. So if anything that came out of a better show for either of those 3 nights, I thought night 2 was better. So, and there you go, folks. That was my review for Chance to New Japan, a review of the New Beginning in USA of 2019 that took place again in Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, Los Angeles, California, excuse me, Charlotte, North Carolina, and from Nashville, Tennessee. And again, we're Tennessee, different countries, different states, I meant to say, excuse me, cities in a way as well. Los Angeles, California in January 30th, Charlotte, North Carolina from February 2nd, and Nashville, Tennessee from February 3rd. And all from 2019. There you go. And that being said, folks, I'm done. No plugs and no thing of me to say as well, because I want to hurry up with these reviews to catch up on it, especially with New Japan Pro Wrestling and other things I need to catch up with wrestling reviews as well. So I'm just gonna say, for It's Natural Born Driller, saying peace on the streets, and for all you, take care.